Then the next piece, critical information, is that mic button on the bottom left. So if you have the typical barking dogs or barking kids and screaming dogs in the background, or a neighbor that just stubbed their toe, just go to mute. Save the voice background piece. And with that all said, I'll swing it back over to Margaret Ann.
Perfect. Well, thanks a lot, Bernie, and thanks everyone for joining us. And we are really looking forward to listening to Richard Kay today, who's going to be talking about the secrets of empowering negotiation. So really excited to hear this. But to give you all a lay of the land first, what we like to do is go around and have everybody do a quick introduction of themselves and who they are, maybe where they came from and what you do, just to give everybody a feel for who's on the call. This is also a little bit like networking. So everybody that's on the call, don't forget to reach out to somebody, even if it's one person. Always set a goal when you go out to an event, and you'll find somebody on this call that you probably connect with, want to learn more about. So reach out, get to know them. This is a wonderful thing about being online now. We get to meet people from literally all over the world that you'll see as we start our introductions there shortly. And as Bernie was saying, put your information in the chat. We suggest LinkedIn. People can connect. We're all, most of the time, usually business people, so that gives you an opportunity to connect offline. So now we're going to go around the room, and Tanya, I know you can lead the way with this, because Tanya is one of our VIP members. Oh yes, with Connect Ottawa. What we are is a business group that brings business people together. And on Thursdays we meet to have a strategy session. And so our members come together and we have a little bit more in-depth conversation that day. Happy to introduce Tanya Hewitt, who is one of our VIP members, who will give us the demo. Give us that 30-second pitch, Tanya.
Everyone, my name is Tanya Hewitt. I normally introduce myself as coming from the unceded territories of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe nations, which most people identify as Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And I help businesses inject humanity back into their workplaces. A lot of places focus exclusively on financials, on how to get new customers, on how to, increase their advertising, etc. And focusing more on leadership and teamwork and relationships within the workplace can get workplaces to be a lot healthier, more harmonious, and can start to drive up some of those other areas as well. So I'm Tanya Hewitt from Beyond Safety Compliance. How does your work look?
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Tanya. How about Rahul?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So very simple, I'm Rahul. I'm a trusted advisor at corporators. So my expertise comes into financial planning, covering all aspects of your life. And this is my first meeting at Connect Ottawa, and I'm very excited to be a part of future meetings and connecting with you all and knowing you in person. Thank you.
Perfect. Thrilled to have you here. How about Michael Nadler?
Good afternoon, all. My name is Mike Nadler. I'm a CFO on the go. I spent my entire career as a CFO controller in the commercial real estate space, and now I'm a fractional CFO working with any client that is involved in real estate, a service provider or a not-for-profit that needs a fresh pair of eyes to help them re-engineer how they do what they do to improve their bottom line. This is my second or third meeting, which I really enjoy. Love the folks up in the north of the States. I'm out in Chicago here, but thank you for including me.
Great to have you here, Michael. Thank you. How about Anna?
Just remember to unmute myself. Hi, everybody. I'm Anna. I'm a business consultant. I partner with SME businesses and go on their journey to achieve their success, whatever they define it as. And I will just keep it short and sweet because we have lots of people to get through here. So I'll drop in my contact detail, and I would love to connect with any one of you.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Anna, for doing that. Yeah, we'll have to make these really quick because we do have a lot of people on. Jackie, nice to see you.
Hi, Margaret Ann. Hi, everyone. My name's Jackie. I am currently working with an organization here in Ottawa called Altitude Gym, and I'm in the role of a summer camp coordinator. So I'm in charge of making a summer experience for all the kids, and in the process of building my team right now. And I spend a lot of time networking and getting to know people in the community, and Connect Ottawa is a great place to continue to build that network.
Well, we're thrilled to have you back again, Jackie. Nice to see you. Donna Lee, nice to have you.
Thanks, Margaret Ann. I'm a business consultant, business strategy. So I work in strategic initiatives, client relationship management, and partnership development. I'm working fractional. I think you used the word fractional, chief personnel officer with an AI company. I'm a senior associate with the Bonner Institute, which is for purposeful leadership. So we do a lot of organizational risk, leadership, and performance management. And I'm also working with top university in Canada on some of the issues they have with their executive programs. So that's what I do.
Awesome. Thank you. How about Willie?
Thanks, Margaret Ann. It's Willie Nichol from sunny Scotland in the UK. I hope you can all understand my accent. I'm a life coach, having been a police officer for 31 years, followed by a corporate security management role. And I discovered coaching, or rather it discovered me, when I found I was able to help people. So I help people find their own solutions to whatever's troubling them, holding them back, or stopping their personal development. I'll put my digital business card in the chat room, where all my contact details, LinkedIn, website, booking a chat with me if you wish. You can get all that on there. So thank you.
Perfect. Nice to have you here, Willie. Hey, Trish, another blast from the past. You're on mute.
Out of practice, sorry. Thanks for having me back. My name is Trish Rossiter, and I'm with Help My Pain Canada. And if you are on your feet all day, you're living with pain, you're exhausted when you come home, so much so that you can't walk the dog, you can't go for a run. And if you worry about pain medications hurting your body, I want to chat with you. I have a drug-free solution to help you manage your pain. And I have some free samples that I'm giving away. If you want to reach out with me, I'll put the information in the chat. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you. And William Bill Jr.
Hello, everyone. I'm Williams Bill Jr., and I'm joining this meeting from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. It's nice to meet everyone here today. I work with a team that helps businesses optimize the way they use software in their business. So one part of the team analyzes the processes, and then my team comes in to see how we can improve the processes with software. Nice. This is my first meeting. Nice to meet everyone, and I'm gonna just drop my details in the chat.
Perfect. Thrilled to have you here all the way from Nigeria. Woo. Okay, Angela.
Hi, I'm Angela, and I've redone my job title, so I've got to remember it now. I'm an energetic transformational coach. And basically that means I do lots of coaching with lots of different wonderful tools and techniques to help people to shift things in their lives. So if anyone's looking for a change or looking for a transformation of some variety, I would love to work with them. And my group coaching program is launching again next week, and that's called Time to Get Comfy in Your Own Skin. So it's anyone who's looking at weight management or looking for that point of walking past mirrors and seeing photographs of themselves and not hating what they see. So that's starting next week. So I'd love to have anybody on board who wants to come in and do that. And I'm based in Hamilton in Scotland.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Angela. Abby.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Abhi. I'm here in Ottawa. Kind of wear two hats in my day job. I manage a nonprofit community hub. We have 20 organizations, and I'm also the founder of Nutrition Blocks, which is a newer nonprofit, and we design and develop food security programs.
Cool. Well, nice to have you here again, Abby.
Thank you.
Katrina?
Yes. Hello. I was invited by Bernie, and I help wives who are empty, lonely, and insecure to find connection, rediscover themselves, realize their true worth in the world. And I'm in Southern California, and I also help those who want to learn about cryptocurrency and earn Bitcoin without risk.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, welcome, Katrina. Matthew.
Hi, everyone. My name is Matthew. I'm the founder of Mana Partner Mana Capital. So we're essentially based in Ottawa, and we work with people to help them invest in U.S. real estate.
Nice to have you here. Short and sweet. Okay, we still got a few people at the on here that I don't see your faces. I'm going to go quickly, see if you hear me. Robert Dick?
He posted that he doesn't have a camera.
Oh, thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
Stephanie?
Hi. Hi, so my name is Stephanie. I work for NAT Canada. I'm the safety manager in the safety and quality department there. We control air traffic for the aircraft in the sky. Yeah, fun stuff. Nice to meet you all.
Cool. Thank you for joining us. And we have a Cami. No unmute. Okay, so I think I've got everybody. Bernie, back to you. Who are you, young man?
I'm just a gent that does stuff. I do B2B connections, actually people connections. I posted my stuff in the chat involved with Property Wizard podcast, which is a real estate investment, and Purify Canada, some methodology of not of getting rid of infectious stuff around you, like viruses, bacteria, mold, spore, and fungus, without killing you, yourself, your kids, your dogs, your pets, and your plants. And over to you, Margaret Ann. Otherwise, I'll keep going.
No, I like that. It's good. It's not going to kill everybody else. Okay. Is there anybody I missed on the call? Okay, for those that don't know, I am Margaret Ann Davis from downtown Fitzroy Harbor. I'm a strategic business connector. I am a partner in Connect Ottawa with Bernie France Grote and Stefan Matral. And I'm also a partner in Unified Remote Work, which is all about digital, online, virtual working. So I'm going to pop some information as well into the chat. But right now, really looking forward. Okay, we have one other person came on, Guylaine. If you can, if you'd like to say who you are, you got 15 seconds.
Oh, wow, I just came in late. Hi, my name is Guylaine Ure. I'm a business intermediary with Sunbelt Canada. I help people acquire or sell their businesses.
Perfect. Well, great to have you here, and thank you for being short and sweet. Bernie, take it away, and we're going to be introducing our guest today, Richard Kay.
Margaret Ann, thank you so much. So, folks, Dr. Richard Kay, he's an internationally acclaimed speaker. He has presented seminars and workshops in Australia, France, Japan, and Russia, as well as the US, obviously. He's a faculty member of the CEO space. He retired from a thriving chiropractic practice in San Diego, and he's been working with entrepreneurs to help mentor them in accelerating their growth of their business. In the CEO space, they work, which is, according to Forbes, is the #1 business growth conference. The rest of his reputation is attributable to the growth of his clients' businesses as a result of working with him. He teaches a program of the secrets of empowering negotiation, and Richard will share decades of his knowledge, wisdom, and experience so you can grow. And Richard, over to you, sir.
All right. Hey, thanks, gang. Thanks for showing up. I think it was Woody Allen who said most of success is just showing up. And if he didn't say it, it's something he could have said. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to invite you to hang around because later on, I have some wonderful free things for you just for showing up. That's what it takes. So Bernie and I talked about sharing some of my, as he said, knowledge, wisdom, and experience about negotiation. And I want to share a funny story with you. I sent emails out to my mailing list one day about a masterclass that I'm doing in a month, actually, April 30. And a woman wrote back and said, I don't think my clients are the right audience because they're solopreneurs and solopreneurs don't negotiate. I said, really? I'm going to share a couple of stories with you. First of all, every single one of us here, the first negotiation you do every single morning is with yourself. How many of you have gotten up, whether you get up when you're done sleeping or that alarm clock goes off, and you negotiate, hey, am I getting out of bed or am I going to hang out here under the sheets for a little bit? Anyone do that? Or am I the only one? That's every single morning. And it goes on from there. Whether you're in business, every person with whom you communicate, you had a negotiation with yourself. Am I going to show up for this event today? What am I going to do this afternoon? If you're in a relationship, where are we going to go for dinner? Or even if you're in a relationship with yourself, and I'd like to believe most of you are, where am I going to go to dinner? Am I going to eat in? What am I going to have? So when she said solopreneurs don't negotiate, that's like, wow, what universe is this lady living in? And I want to share a story with you. And I'm going to give you some really good, solid tips here that by the end of this program, or through the program, you may want to take notes because there are things that you're going to want to remember. And by the way, the research shows that people who participate have an 82% higher retention rate than if people just observe. So this is not a diatribe. This is interactive. Feel free to either raise your digital hand or wave or just speak up. And we'll see, 80% of life is just showing up. Woody Allen, thank you. Thank you. See, now, it's a simple negotiation. I said something and Michael said, hey, you negotiate with yourself. Gee, do I want to post something there? Recognize every conversation you have. Does anyone remember the television show Rhoda? Anyone remember that? Was a spin-off from Mary Tyler Moore. And back when I used to watch television, that was one of the shows I watched. It was really funny, great writing. And there's this scene where the boyfriend, Joe, is in Rhoda's apartment. And he says, she's going to come home and she's going to say this, and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to say this. And she says, wait a minute, I'm having an argument with myself and I'm losing. That's a negotiation. How many times do you do that? So many, many years ago, a young man asked me to teach the work that I was doing in his series of seminars. And we had a conversation about where, when, how much time did I have, et cetera. And then the conversation came down to what? How much is he going to pay me? And I'm going to give you a little cliffhanger here, but I'm going to tell you what I said to him. He offered me a fee, and I uttered 7 words. Like that, he doubled what he offered to pay me. How cool is that? Now hang out because I'm going to give you those 7 words later on. I call them magical words. So when you know how to do negotiation in a win-win-win-win model, what the heck does that mean? Most people have a model of negotiation of I win, you get screwed, you lose. That's mostly the world we grew up in. People talk about win-win in business and relationship and negotiation, and that's cool. I want to invite you to step into a larger frame than that. Win-win means I win, you win. Win-win-win means I win, you win, and people in our circle win. I invite you to step up to a 4th level of I win, you win, our circle wins, and humanity wins. What if you viewed everything you did in life? What are the far-reaching effects? Does it serve humanity, or is somebody going to get screwed on the back end? When you look at the world through that lens, I assert that we step into a much bigger and healthier and a service frame. Many years ago, and you'll get an idea of how long ago, I was practicing chiropractic, and I put an ad in the newspaper for a new office manager. A young lady called me up, and the first words out of her mouth were, how much are you paying? I don't know if she even said hello. I'm talking decades ago. The way you show up is profound. First impressions really do matter. She said, how much are you paying? You get an idea when I tell how long ago. I said, well, I'm offering $1,000. She said, great, I'll ask for 2. We can settle on 1,500. When can I come in? Yeah, Margaret. That's what many people perceive of as negotiation. You have an offer, a counter offer, and you meet in the middle. Who has that as a model? Who accepts that that's the way a lot of negotiation is done? If you do, get rid of it, because it's not what happens. One day I had this was the lady who left that I needed to replace. She asked me for a raise. I said, why? It's a conversation. Well, my landlord raised my rent and I need more money. I said, well, I was very loving, but the essence of it was, that's not my problem. I said, I'll tell you what, here's the deal. You learn to type so you can type up my reports, and I'll be glad to give you a raise. She said, no, I just need more money. It was a nice, gentler conversation. What's on the table when you're negotiating? Virtually everything. Again, this example of the young lady who didn't want to learn a new skill to serve, to earn her value. So let's do an example, and I'm going to ask you all to unmute because this is an interactive game here. How many of you are crystal clear in your communication? So a few of you have not unmuted yet. Please participate so that you will get more out of this. Trust me, this isn't for me. This is so you can go home with usable skills. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I was at a conference many years ago. You all feel that you have a real good handle on how you communicate and get your message across. Would that be a fair statement?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to write in the little message. You telling me if I communicated well.
Okay, it's bullshit. Let me tell you, we can all use an up leveling of our communication skills.
Yeah.
So I was at a conference a couple of decades ago, and someone did this exercise. He said, I have 26 sheep and 2 die. How many do I have left? So I ask you, I have 26 sheep and 2 die. How many do I have left? Who would like to speak to that?
26.
How many do you want to have?
Okay. So I heard 26.
26 and 2 die?
I have 26 sheep and 2 die. How many do I have left?
24.
24. Okay.
26.
26.
26.
Yeah, I'm going to say this again. I have 26 sheep and 2 die.
Oh, you still have 26. Sorry.
All right. Now, because you're all entrepreneurs and have a different spectrum in life, I'm going to say this a little more slowly. I have 20 sick sheep. I said the same thing. I have 26 sheep. Now, whose responsibility is it? By the way, you can take that on. I did. I repurposed it. Feel free to use it. So when you are speaking with someone, whose responsibility is it to ensure that what you are saying is what someone heard? Is it their responsibility or is it yours?
You're wrong.
You're exactly right. Right. It is your responsibility. So 26 sheep is exactly the same as 20 sick sheep. When you are conveying a message, you have to check in. You have to check in. Many years ago, I used to live in San Diego, and I was at a conference, wherever it was, and my son, I had asked him to pick me up at the airport. I said, Jonathan, I'm coming home on this day at this time on this flight. Can you pick me up? He said, sure, Dad. Well, after hanging out at the airport and it wasn't there, I learned a very powerful lesson. So I'm going to pass this on to you. Check in with somebody. Now, today, with scheduling, software, it's fairly easy. Some of you will schedule a call because you want to talk, and you now have the autoresponder from either Calendly or Time Trade or Qt, whatever you use, that echoes that. Well, I learned to have my son. I said, Jonathan, please, what day am I coming? And he would tell me, Saturday. Great, that's a good start. What flight, what carrier, what time? In conversations and invitation, boys and girls, have someone repeat it back to you so that you can have a better assurance. And we didn't have email back then, didn't have internet back then. Some of you remember those days when you had a life instead of living on these things, and doing those kinds of things. So when you are in conversation with someone, whether it's business or personal, it's an invitation. Have the person with whom you're speaking repeat back to you so that there's more clarity. Now, there's a higher order of that, and that's put it in writing. And then there's a higher order than that, and that's have the other person sign it, and that's called a contract. Now, if everybody, it doesn't have to be a formal legal contract. Bernie and I were texting and messaging and speaking back and forth, setting up this opportunity for all of us. So it was in writing, and and then you sent out email. Bernie, thank you, sending out emails this morning. And most of you, it's an invitation, put things on your calendar. How many times do you make an agreement? I live on the frickin' calendar, and I say something, I'm going to show up. I talked about showing up and first impressions. When you show up, and you must follow up with people. Some of you are putting information in the chat, and that's a great way. It's your response. If someone says, I want to do business with you, whose responsibility is it to follow up with? It's not their responsibility to get back to you. You must follow up with people and follow up. I had a guy call me yesterday, and I told my fiance, hey, I got hysterical. Guy said to me, I'm following up on a phone call you had with my partner. I think he said back in August. This is March, boys and girls, almost April. He said, you had a phone call in August. I said, with who? He told me, Dave. I said, Dave who? I said, help me here. What is this call about? And I said, bear with me. I went through a database. I went through my email. I said, I don't have any records of speaking with this person, Dave, whatever his name was. The guy was dead silent. Would you want to do business with someone who took 5-6 months to follow up with you? He was trying to sell me some program to replace Excel. And I said, if that's your goal, I have no desire, but 5-6 months. Yeah. Follow up in a timely manner. It is your responsibility, God bless you, to do that. So a couple of things here. How many of you have ever made a phone call to somebody? I just want to see I want to see who's actually listening, Okay. And if you didn't raise your hand, what the hell are you doing here? How many have ever made a phone call and the outgoing message is forever? The name of the business, the operating hours, the date of incorporation, what the specials are. What do you want to do? And you want to hang up. Today we are in one click away. We live in accelerated time. My hallucination is, boys and girls, you don't want to listen to. I just called someone this morning, and I was on an interview this morning, and I hadn't yet gotten the link. Thank you, Bernie, for being on top of things. And I called her, and her message is all about the company and all about the program and all about the upcoming shit. I don't listen to that. I texted her. How many of you have outgoing messages like that? Does it serve you? That's called barrier to entry. And I'll speak a little bit more about that in a moment. Should any of you ever decide to call me, you're going to hear a phone message. It says, you've reached Dr. Richard K. You want to know who you've reached. You can dial the wrong number. Even if you have it, please leave your phone number with the area code. Now, what is that about? How many of you get messages? Hey, call me back. Yeah. And I will return your call when I can give you my undivided attention. Better, hey, I'll call you when I get a chance. And like this guy 6 months later, really? By the way, same thing with text. You have all undoubtedly gotten a text message from someone with their message, please call me. Your name doesn't come through in the text unless it's in their database.
I so agree.
Make it easy for people to get in touch with you. Make it so easy. Same thing with your websites. Many people have websites that are all about the business, all about the company. Do you care? Talk to me, boys and girls. What do you want to know when you look at someone's website? What do you want to know?
What they do, what they can do for me.
That's it. What can they do for me? We all tune into the same radio station. WIIFM. What's in it for me?
But you're right, because many websites, they just talk about all kinds of goobly-doo. You don't even know what they do.
Yeah. So again, this is an opportunity to evaluate your own website. Is it about you? Or is it, as Ghislaine said, and if I mispronounce your name, I apologize.
That's fine. It's Gilan. You're right.
Yeah, okay, thank you. You want to know what's in it for you. Oh, you can have a section, what we do and how we do it and how long we've been doing it. You want to have, you look at your website as if you are the consumer. Does it speak to you? What problem do you solve? That's what everyone cares about. When you get on an airplane, you don't care whether the engines are Briggs and Stratton or General Motors, but you don't care. You want to know one thing. Is that aircraft going to get you to your destination? So it's an invitation. Same thing with your voicemail. This young lady this morning, I'm saying, shit. So I on some voicemails, you can push the pound sign and skip right to the message. Her says, please enter your password. Well, I don't have a password. So I had to hang up and call back and listen to the recording again. What are you doing in barrier to entry that you're losing prospects, you're losing customers, and you don't even know it? Make it so easy for people to get through to you. How many of you, and you don't have to raise your hand, but how many of you have a website? Okay, thank you. How many? There's both hands. How many of you have a website where someone has to fill out a form to get to you? And we're talking about barrier to entry. I know that, well, okay, thank you, but let me add to that because there's more. How many of you have a website where the only way for someone to get to you is by filling out a form? You go to someone's website, you fill out a form, and then you pray to God they're going to get back to you. You get an autoresponder that says, hey, we'll call you. A form is great. You can gather information. This invitation, have at least your email address. And if you're up for it, a phone number. There's an attorney. I took off my email list because every time I sent out an email, I got an autoresponder. It said to make it, paraphrasing obviously, but so that we can run a more efficient office, we answer our emails between 1 and 3. Excuse me, I'm not interested in your efficiency. If I want, and in this case, especially an attorney, I don't want to wait until the afternoon. I want somebody now. So I repeat, make it so easy for people to get to you so that they can do business with you. Otherwise, it's a barrier to entry. And all right, I'm going to pause. Who has a question, a comment, a concern? I don't know if that comment's for me. So who has a burning question that you have? We got plenty more information here if you'd like to keep going.
Oh,
Yes,
Trish has something.
Yes, Trish.
Well, it's more a comment, to be honest. I get a lot of spam phone calls. And so sometimes I don't answer my phone calls. And then I'm always, oh, should I not? But you know what? No, I don't want my ducks cleaned again.
So would you like some feedback on that?
Yes, please.
Okay, there's a couple of things. In the States, I have T-Mobile, and I have no idea how it showed up in my service, but I get messages, spam call. I don't know how they detect these robocalls, and in the States, at least, they're looking to make those illegal. And Trish, I have to tell you, for me, I just use intuition. If it doesn't feel right, I don't answer it. I will call back if they leave a voicemail. If they don't leave a voicemail, the hell, I have no interest in that part. As someone, I was on a phone call this morning, and the phone rang, and it lit up with the person's name because the person happens to be in my phone database. Well, I wasn't going to get off a call to take that call, and he didn't leave a message. I have no desire to call that person back. Your time is more valuable to you than to anybody else. If someone wants to get in touch with you, and by the way, can you show us your desk why you don't want it cleaned? No, I'm sorry. There's no need to call someone back. If they want to get in touch with them, by the way, just out of curiosity, I checked that person's information in my database. And the last message I have was a text from him saying, I've been busy. I haven't had time to get back in touch with you. Well, he didn't have the courtesy to leave a message. So, you know, it's how you want to play. Is that useful for you, Trish? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone?
Typically, I don't reply, or I don't answer, but I was just curious what you would say. Thank you.
If it's urgency, I mean, the other day, a call came in and I looked at the number. I said, I just felt like answering it. And I don't remember what it was, but I was glad I answered it, kind of thing. And, you know, it's like that guy who called me. I had no idea who it was, but I answered the phone and I'm checking up on a call you had 6 months ago. I said, really? And that was my question to him. All right. I talked about, I don't know who Connect Ottawa is because it just has Connect Ottawa, not your name. But Stephen, thank you. Does that help you with having an email address as well as?
Wait a minute. Sorry, it's me.
Oh, okay. All right. So is that Stephanie? I can't see it properly.
Stefan John.
Stefan, does that help you to have the email? And some people are reticent today to have a phone number because, like Trish says, you may get, you know, bogus emails. Know your own limits. But an email address, oh, I'm afraid someone's going to farm my email. Shit, you get enough bogus emails anyway. What's another one or two? So make it easy for people to get in touch with you. That's the biggest thing I want you to take away from that part here. And I talked about having things in writing, you know, like the contract. People will believe more if it's in writing. If I tell you that I have something, a price, for example, you know, imagine going into Nordstrom's or Macy's or whatever stores you may have in Canada, or you mentioned Costco, and there's no prices on stuff. Yeah, everything is negotiable, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. But you must have things in writing. Your pricing, your pricing list, so that people know what they're going to get. Many, many years ago, and people, again, I say they believe what's in writing. Many years ago, a lady and I were driving and we stopped at some restaurant to go to the bathroom. And we go into the back and there's a sign that says men's room and there's a sign that says ladies' room. Well, there was someone who was, I don't remember, I'll give you the essence of it. There was someone in the men's room. Well, my wife at the time went into the ladies' room, and when she was done, she came out and there's still somebody in the men's room. So I went into the ladies' room. Now, don't do this if it's more, you know, if it's a small thing with just one toilet and one, you know, you're fine. Don't do it in a multi-purpose one. And, oh, now I remember what it was. There was a guy looking ahead of me, waiting for the guy to come out of the men's room. And he's still waiting because there's somebody in there. So I went into the ladies' room and locked the door, and my wife stood outside. And I came out, that guy's still waiting. What's the difference between the men's room and the ladies' room? Yeah, there may be a urinal in the men's room. It's just a sign. That's all it is, Margaret Ann. And as
But
we
he once
left,
told me off to use the handicap washroom when there was no handicap inside. Like, it's accessibility doesn't mean I can't use it.
exactly.
Like, if I'm the only one, I'm alone, and there's 2 stalls and one's handicap, there's no, but this person went nuts.
Ghislaine, you're absolutely
The
right.
gall.
So people believe what is in writing. Who remembers the show? Wow, that name. with Alan Font, Candid Camera. Who remembers the show Candid Camera?
I remember the name, can't remember the show.
They had hidden cameras. That was legal back then, not the kind of shit you see today with little pinhole cameras. They had a segment where Alan Font was standing. He got out of his car, put up a sign on a road that went into New Jersey, a small feeder road. Sign said road closed. And there was a barrier. People came up to the sign and stopped. And Alan Font, the first guy, the Alan Font was just standing there. And the first guy came up and says, "What's the story? You know, what is this close?" And all Alan Font did was point to the sign. Guy waited. Another car came up. "What's up?" He showed him the sign. He says, "Why is it closed?" "I don't know." He just pointed to the sign. It said road closed. A line of cars behind. At whatever o'clock, Alan Font looks at his watch, walks over, takes the barricade away, and it was like the opening of the Grand Prix. People believe what they read. So when you're writing, when you're making a proposal to someone, put it in writing and have the other person countersign it. And again, that's what attorneys do. If you don't write a proposal, have an attorney craft it. Bernie, how much more time do we have? I want to know how much more I can. Where are you?
You have about another 5
minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we got I want to give you boys and girls a whole bunch of gifts here. The first one I want to give you, who would like to know what those 7 words were that doubled what I got? Anyone want to know? Yeah. I said to Jay, and I'm going to tell you how long ago this was. Yes, he offered to pay all expenses and such. He said, I'll give you $500 a city. I said, and write this down, you'll have to do better than that. Jay immediately said, how about 1,000? What just happened?
That's good.
He doubled in a heartbeat what he was offering me. As best I can do is 1,000. Now I'm going to tell you the antidote to that in a moment. If I had said, can you do more? I might have said 600, maybe 750. I never would have doubled it. Now, if Jay had taken my course, he would have known the antidote to that, which is exactly how much better do I have to do? So the statement is you'll have to do better than that. The antidote is exactly how much better do I have to do? And had Jay said that again, I don't think I would have gone above 7, but he doubled it. So here's one of the things for you. If you like what you're hearing here, you've already got the 7 words. It'll give you a PDF and it's free. There's no strings attached. It's just enter your name and email address there, and you're going to get 7 words. You're going to get 5 other tips that are very, very powerful. Who here has heard of CEO Space? Who's heard of CEO Space? All right. I'm going to give you a 50,000-foot view. It is the world's largest and oldest business growth conference. It is, because I'm going to give you something else here. People have raised $3 billion using us as a resource. Margaret Ann, Lisa Nichols, some of you know the name Lisa Nichols. She actually got started at CEO Space. When people used to pay us $7,500 for lifetime membership, she was broke. She had to raise money to come. Today, she's worth $5 million. She's one of the most highly requested speakers on the planet in human potential space. Chicken Soup for the Soul got started at CEO Space. My chiropractic practice grew exponentially after CEO Space. We don't do live events anymore, where we used to feed everyone 3 meals a day for a week. So we now do this online. What I'm going to offer you a 30 days free membership in CEO Space. It's absolutely free. You don't even have to enter a credit card. It's a live link. You can just click on it or write it down someplace, copy the chat later on. Bernie, I got a bunch of other things for your friends here.
Go for it.
In a month, on April 30, I'm doing an extended program, a master class on this program, The Secrets of Empowering Negotiation. And it's usually $497. And Bernie and Margaret Ann, for your team, it's absolutely free. Come on and play with us. And then, say again?
I said, cool.
Yeah, it is. And it's fun. I did one a couple of months ago. We had a ball doing it. So people said, can you do another one? Well, absolutely. And then some of you may have a desire to have a conversation, a deep dive into what has to happen to bridge the gap between where you are and where you can be in your business. That's usually retails at $397. Just set up a call. Be glad to explore how I can serve you. I've been doing that for 24 years. So I've got just a little bit of experience in that. And the other thing, I'm just going to give my email address. So if you just want to reach out and have some other kind of chat, we can do that. And then, I should put this in here too. If you just want to hear my voicemail.
Well, if there's no press 1 for English and 2 for
for Swahili,
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I'm here to serve. I retired, and it's been my joy, my pleasure to serve entrepreneurs around the world. And Stefan, yeah, you've got my information there. Just say however I can serve you. So as we head towards wrapping up here, what have you got? How can I serve you? What questions have you got? What observations? What would you like to know? And if you unmute, I'll actually be able to hear you. It's the buzzwords of the 2020s. You're muted. I can't hear you. How can I serve you?
So when you're negotiating, how important is it for the visuals to be part of it, as opposed to just auditory or written?
Brilliant question, Bernie. It is, well, I wouldn't say critical. It is vitally important. If someone is, well, yeah, I really agree with what you say, being a little bit melodramatic. You want to see people. When I do my entire program, I talk about where are their eyes? Are their eyes looking up? Are their eyes sideways? Are their eyes down? That came from the NLP world. Now, some people think NLP is, vicious and malicious. It's not when it's used properly. The tells, some of you may have heard of the word tell. If any of you are gamblers, and I am not, but you can watch other people and know if they've got a good hand or it sucks and they're faking it. Visual body language is a whole segment in my entire program on body language. So thank you. Great question. You've got to know that stuff. And it's a learned skill.
Isn't there also personality type like the DISC personality? Some people respond differently on different communication way.
And thank God people do, Ghislaine. Well, let me add, Bernie, does that answer your question? I'll come back to Ghislaine.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay, thank you. People will respond. Someone here was a trained, Willie was a cop. My hallucination is he was trained in at least some aspects of body language, that you need to know who you're talking with, and people will respond differently depending on the situation. Everybody responds differently under stress. And some negotiations are very stressful. So you must be able to go back to Bernie, to see them, to feel them. Is somebody shaking? So yeah, everybody responds differently. And a trained negotiator, you learn how to read the responses, and you must develop a baseline with that person. What is their baseline? Are they on drugs? Are they nervous because they're on drugs, Willie, or are they nervous because they're talking to an officer? We don't know. So the more conversation you have with somebody, the better you can discern. So Ghislaine, does that help you answer that?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Who else? Questions, comments?
If I may, Richard, I was pleasantly surprised that my skill sets and training as a police officer were transferable to the coaching arena, because as you identify, the ability to kind of feel what the other person is thinking or going through or experiencing is extremely valuable. And I relied in my police career and also in coaching on my gut instinct, where I can feel it. That person's lying to me, or that person doesn't want this or that. So to answer Bernie, it's critical that you're able to identify that. And similarly, if you're projecting, to project in the right manner.
And Willie, thank you for adding that. Your gut instinct, boys and girls, is so important. Will it be right 100% of the time? No. I assert that most of the time it's right, and this screws it up. This gets in the way. Oh, that can't be. So yeah, go with your gut and then double check with it. Thank you. Stefan.
Yeah, I was wondering if you would be open to discuss how to create value with artificial intelligence within the negotiation science, around question branching and how to do some software development to help people have in their business tools, the best practice that can be sustained by artificial intelligence suggestions in user interface. Because I'm into that.
That is a complex question. I'm going to answer to what I think I heard. Would that be okay?
Yep.
Did I hear you talk about using artificial intelligence?
Yes, because
Okay.
for example, when you were talking about, having all the ready-made, well, you need to be organized around the follow-up and so on and make yourself accessible. We've already done that with the artificial intelligence, so we can keep on, track of the follow-up and things like that. But the other part is the ongoing project where it's people-to-people interrelationships. And then at some point there's going to be a negotiation. But if people have no support, how to manage those relationships with the negotiation part, that would be another pain point to solve. That was the sense of my question. As an artist, as a creator and an expert, would you be open to have a discussion about it? Not doing it, but discuss this.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, during the question, I'm seeing Hal in 2001 taking over. If any of you use the program Grammarly,
I use it. It's the best.
It's amazing. It's a freaking artificial intelligence program. Even when I write Gmail, it makes suggestions. I don't know that I would rely on it for an ultimate outcome. Am I willing to have a conversation? Sure. Set up a time to talk, and we can explore how to do things. But Grammarly, even I would assert that you don't accept every suggestion it makes, because it doesn't fit your soul, doesn't fit what it is that you want to convey. So yeah, let's talk about that, Stefan. Okay.
Okay, so perfect, guys. Raul, I'm just going to hold off on you in a second because I want to thank you, Richard, very much. It was great. I really resonated with a lot of things that you were saying, and I just love that. You'll have to do better than that. 7 magical words. I like that.
It is, and just remember the antidote. If someone else has learned it, exactly
how much better do I have to do? I know. You know what? It's just I love it. It's just yeah. Kind of like back with my analogy with Tom Hopkins, like just shutting up, learning to listen, and then just be quiet. He who speaks first loses.
That was a realistic training thing.
Okay, so we are at 1:57. So Bernie, just before we're ending this call, because we like to get everybody out at 2 o'clock out of respect for everybody's time. Bernie, what's coming up next Tuesday? Who's speaking?
So next Tuesday, we have Dave Cunningham coming in to talk about podcasting, using your computer, microphone, and talking to the world. Basically, get your message out there, but orally. And so he's coming in to have a chat. We have an event that's happening Thursday also, which you're going to touch a base on. The other piece, before I forget, save the chat. So open the chat box, hit the 3 dots, hit saved. If you don't know where it saves, it says show in folder. And so go there, it'll tell you where. The other part is everybody here, you've registered, which you have, you'll be getting an email, as the survey says. And if you don't want future emails, we will not be sending you future emails.
Okay, so we do our best on that. If Bernie wasn't here and I was sending them out, you may get an email by mistake. Oh, well, get over it. Because we're all in business. You can negotiate me. You can negotiate with me. Why did you do that? But Thursday, I just want to do a reminder. Every Thursday, we get together from 12 to 1. Our members, this event is included. Otherwise, it's $10 an event. It's from 12 to 1. We call it our power hour. And I've just put it in the chat. We're going to be talking about systems and processes this week. So what happens? You come in, introduce yourself, we get to know each other a bit better, and we have a discussion on a specific topic. So again, Richard, thank you very much. You know what? Okay, we're 1:58. Raul, you had a question.
Hi, thanks, Margaret. And so it was just not a question, sort of a query to discuss with Richard. I think we are on time run. As Richard mentioned, like to follow up with the clients ASAP without any delay to make them feel respected and we have valued their time. And I saw Tanya shared very valuable insight in the chat, like Simon Sinek once was not able to reach the prospect because he lost his business card, and the delay in the process worked in his favor. So how, Richard, you will what are your advice or comments on that situation?
I'd be totally transparent. I would do everything. We're all human in spite of I think we're all artificial intelligence. I would be totally transparent. We have all misplaced things. And I used to walk around with a little notepad. Today, I enter stuff right in my phone because it's there. Take a picture, whatever it is, get the immediacy. If you are able to get in touch with that client, that prospect, I say, hey, I screwed up. Take responsibility. There's another whole segment I do on it. It's called agree, agree, agree. Never make the other person wrong.
2 o'clock.
Take responsibility for your screw up. And if you can't find that person, hey, life happens. Is that useful, Raul?
Yes, thanks, Richard. Thank you very much. Thanks, Margaret.
No problem, Raul. Okay, so I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. Again, a big thank you to Richard Kay. And it is 2 o'clock, and I know people are popping off now to hop on your other call. But thank you for coming out. Richard, anytime you'd like to pop in and join us on a Tuesday every week, we actually do this from 1 to 2 as well, and it's open to everybody. So have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Richard, that session went very smoothly. It kept going, and it didn't even feel like an hour went by.
Thank you.
Nice.
And that I appreciate. Trust me.
Thank you.